topic that we're discussing before before we went on break. I'd like for us to quickly look at it. The Chronicle newspaper is reporting that the Africa Bar Association has awarded President Akufo-Addo for his anti-corruption crusade. Okay, let me read it. The Africa Bar Association has, at its 2023 annual conference in Pretoria, South Africa, conferred a Medal of Merit in Leadership Award to President Akufo-Addo. The award, according to the president of the association, was conferred on President Akufo-Addo because he is a Pan-Africanist, anti-corruption crusader, a rare democratic leader in the field of good governance, a true African statesman whose legacies present African leaders must emulate, and we are minded to say will stand the test of time. I see. Thanking the African Bar Association for the award, the president stated that the legal profession has a rarefied position in African societies, and lawyers are assured of a special status. In all our countries, it must be a source of pride for us that lawyers were in the forefront of the fight for liberation from colonialism. Indeed, since independence, lawyers have moved seamlessly between politics and the legal profession. And so, the president has been given that award. Congratulations, Mr. President. Bad.
Good morning to your viewers. And I believe before you went for the break, with the same headlines, you really gave a gesture, which I was behind. I was like, wow.
I gave what?
You gave this gesture after reading it, and you're like,
I said A.
Why A? Well, the point is that I believe they are not looking at just within this 7 years or 6 years as a president. They are looking at Akufo-Addo as an individual, as a lawyer, looking at his efforts in ensuring that human rights and all those activities. So you could read from there. If you read the paper, not just within this short period, it has to do with Akufo-Addo as a person and how what he has done with his life. That's far as an individual.
That's fine, but so by what you're saying, if I understand you correctly, you agree to the A comments for whatever you thought I meant.
We definitely.
If we are judging Akufo-Addo in this 7 years, he doesn't deserve that award. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not. I'm speaking on the issue, looking at Akufo-Addo as a person, what he has done thus far with his life, to where he is today. I believe when you were reading the reasons, they listed he being a Pan-Africanist, right? So it comes not just being a president within a 6 years.
Pan-Africanist is not.
Please. They talked about
that they are different things.
No, very good. And with being an anti-corruption crusader, we know very well. Akufo-Addo took over in 2017, and when he took over, he established this special prosecutor to ensure we deal with corruption-related issues. There are issues. We do admit there are some issues we've not been able to handle properly well out there. Ghanaians we all bear with that. But the point is that government, or Akufo-Addo as a person, as a president, or as a leader of this administration, has done something in dealing with corruption.
He has done something.
Maybe.
He has done something. And that something is enough for him to get that award?
I believe this is not just any institution that will just sit down overnight and decide to award any individual. They go beyond a lot of factors. They look at other factors, which probably we might not even know.
But let's come to Ghana.
Probably we might not even know.
Let's come to Ghana. How would you rate Akufo-Addo's fight against corruption since he took office?
I believe President Akufo-Addo has done well. Though, by maybe
from 1 to 10.
From 1 to 10, I will give Akufo-Addo 7 over 10 in terms of fight against corruption. Because as human as he is, he might not get everything right. We might not get everything right, but not deliberately to get it wrong too. It is important we state it that as an administration, we've had challenges that we all do admit that this administration have been faced with some scandals. So upon scandals, yes, we've been with not deliberately to say that we are not aware of some of these scandals and how it has hit us so badly in the eyes of the Ghanaian people. I believe very well that this award, it's based on merit. And this institution is not just any institution that will just sit up or just come up overnight and say let's award somebody based on maybe on merit issues. I believe very well that there are a lot of merit issues they have to consider before awarding him with this award. So let's look at it from that point of view. Let's not just say because we are in Ghana and because we have, yes, as I indicated, we've had challenges as an administration with some corrupt related or some scandals that has been faced our administration. We are not running away from that. I believe the recent one with our former minister, that's Mame Cecilia Abrak Dapa, is an issue we've not even moved out of yet. So it is true, we've been faced with some scandals, we are dealing with them. But I believe it is also important we acknowledge some of the good things President Akufo-Addo has done in fighting corruption.
Okay. All right. Kojo Edwasari is here with us. He's a former member of parliament for the Adentan constituency, and he is now in charge of special operations, right? Special duties.
That's a big one.
Of the NDC. You're welcome to the show. How's your restaurant doing?
Not bad, Panda.
Panda. It's doing well, yeah?
Yes.
You have money. You're not suffering like the rest of us.
Well, I don't like.
That's just by the way. Congratulations
I
on
don't
the
like
restaurant.
talking
I will
about
come
negativity.
there
So
one of these days.
I really want to see.
I'll come to Mr. Jantua shortly, but since you are here, I mean, the story that I just read, the Africa Bar Association has awarded President Akufo-Addo for being a great anti-corruption crusader. Good award, no?
Sewa, you look beautiful like always, though.
Thank you very much.
Lawyer, good morning to you.
Kojo, how are you?
Fine, thank you. I don't know if I have an opinion on this matter because sometimes when you go the way everybody wants to go, it looks like you are not trying to appreciate people. Corruption in this country in the last 7 years, every indicator that we have read from even the uninitiated all the way to the various Afrobarometer results that have been churned out in the last 6 years. There is not a single one that will arrive at this kind of, to warrant an award. If this one is not influenced by something else.
Something like what?
People buy awards.
Are you suggesting that the president bought
I
the
haven't
award?
said so. I said it is probably influenced by something else because the realities on the ground do not support this assertion.
Are you saying that the president has done nothing at all in the fight against corruption?
Please, if a thief comes to your house every day to steal from you and you erect a barricade or something that you assume will impede the way of the thief to get access, and yet there are several other thefts, some of them even bigger than what used to be the case before you erected all those barricades and all those impediments. How will you say, or how do you conclude the stealing is still ongoing? The thief keeps coming to steal bigger things, and yet you keep giving yourself credit that, I erected a barricade here the last time to prevent stealing. That is what is happening. They'll tell you, we have the special prosecutor who has now become the firefighter. When the fire comes and the heat is on, he comes in, he steps in, takes over the heat, and then packs off the case. So you don't get to hear anything because when you ask, they say the special prosecutor is handling it. and then it ends there. So they only packing up thefts. It happened with this guy at PPA. Whatever has come of that case, nobody knows. Recently, this bravado attempt to they arrested what's the man's name? Professor Frimpong Boateng. The case has been packed. The next one was what is his name?
Charles Bissiou.
Charles Bissiou. Also, bravado, no, we are 3 weeks wanted all over the place. Then the guy walks to the place and reports himself, and the case has been packed. Cecilia Dapa is another case that will not go nowhere. Pack my words. So these are just recent ones. So the ones that give him the name or that title, a clearing agent, right from the first day when reports of $20,000 being paid at the Flagstaff House before the people could see him, cash for seats, all those issues came up, and keeps clearing people and packing them off. And this one says what? He gets an award. Africa Bar Association, where have they been?
So
I'm not
what
sure.
are you saying? That he doesn't deserve the award?
I'm not even sure Ghana Bar Association, in their right senses, will do so. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Ghana Bar Association, in their right senses, I'm sure my senior brother is a member, and he has a view on that. So please, you see, it looks like you are not angry enough, and these guys are playing around with us, thinking that as gullible as we are, these are some of the superfluities that will make us see him in a different light. That's a joke. The fact that we are not talking as much as we should, we are not on the rooftops creating that, because in other environments, some of these things will rather infuriate people. So they should not try to make matters worse by self-aggrandizing themselves and decorating themselves. You pass here, this one, going for a doctorate degree here, an award over this, that, and all of that. Please. Awards do not make anybody's life better. The pro-poor programs that will put water and food on people's tables. Those are the issues. Look, today people are making or discussing issue about Saglemi versus the new project and all of that. On one wing, you don't want to spend money on a project that is probably, let's even be charitable, half done. Half done. When you go there, you see a building, you see rooms, you will see all kinds of things that suggest to you that a little money into that thing, people can go and dwell in those, whatever. You pack all of that aside. And you go and sink over 400 million into the biggest hole on this planet. Biggest hole. Tell me anywhere in the world that a hole like what we have at Ridge around the Parliament House will cost us 400 million, whatever. Please, if this is not corruption in its highest, whatever, please, I don't want, it's early days. It's too early for me to get my adrenaline to pump, this high. Let me hold it at this point.
Mr. Jantwa, do you also think he does not deserve it?
Good morning. Good morning, Kojo.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I want to look at it from 2 points of view. And please, listen, people should listen to me clearly and not try and start, saying this or saying that. Look, the African Bar Association, they don't live in Ghana. It isn't members who live in Ghana, and they might not have done the homework that they needed to do to be able to ascertain whether the president deserves it or not. I pulled up something on what President Akufo-Addo has done where corruption is concerned. And I think this was the basis they might have used. And let me read a few of them. It says, President Akufo-Addo updates in terms of fighting corruption. 1. Establishing independent bodies. Akufo-Addo's administration established independent bodies such as the Office of the Special Prosecutor to investigate and prosecute cases of corruption and other related offenses. 2. Whistleblower Act. The Whistleblower Act was passed to provide protection for individuals who report corruption and other wrongdoing. This encourages citizens to come forward with information without fear or retaliation. 3. Public sector reforms. The government undertook reforms in the public sector to enhance transparency and accountability. This included digitalization processes to reduce human intervention and the potential of corruption. 4. Promoting transparency. Efforts were made to improve transparency in government operations, including publishing information on budget allocations, contracts, and public procurement. 5. Prosecution of officials. Some high-profile corruption cases were pursued during the Akufo-Addo's presidency, demonstrating a commitment to holding public office accountable. 6. Public awareness. The government engaged in public awareness campaigns to educate citizens about the negative impacts of corruption and the importance of reporting such cases. So, when you look at these 6 points that have been raised, that might have contributed to giving President Akufo-Addo this award, does it pertain on ground? Do the people in Ghana see all these as fighting corruption? How many cases has the OSP prosecuted so far? How many people has he been able to throw in jail for corruption? How many? A lot of the things that public awareness, have they come to you? Have they come to you to tell you, sir, I'm in here, you're on TV every day, this is the public awareness strategy of Ghana, promote it, please help us promote? Have you heard it?
No.
When you look at the Whistleblower Act, how many people having whistleblowed and been exposed? How many people hasn't the president himself, before the case even gets to court, cleared? They call him what? A clearinghouse, clearing agent. And they say what? President Akufo-Addo is a Pan-Africanist. Really? How? Where? What have they seen that we don't? Do they understand the word Pan-African? Do they understand it? Maybe my brother will be able to tell me what President Akufo-Addo has done to get that accolade as a Pan-Africanist. So I would give them the benefit of the doubt, because if they had come into Ghana and they had interviewed citizens of Ghana to find out whether the president deserves this award, they might have done things differently. I do not think President Akufo-Addo deserves this kind of award where corruption is concerned. I do not see it. I do not see it. Because a lot of the things he told us when he was in opposition, when he came into power, he hasn't been able to fulfill it. So my brother says, oh, it's got to do with President Akufo-Addo's lifestyle and the way he's handled things when he wasn't in power. When you now get the power, isn't that where you should show what your lifestyle and what you were fighting for? Has he been able to show it? Who am I? I'm just a mere...
So a quick one.
I'm just a mere... let me finish.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just a mere citizen. So you're aghast and surprised when you read it. I'm sure a lot of Ghanaians taking the Chronicle today, when they see it, they'll be aghast and surprised. But no. Because I don't see it. When you look at the quantum of corruption in this country, It is sinking us. I said two things that, if we're not careful, will sink this country: corruption and galamsey. Has he been able to hold it? Galamsey alone, has he been able to hold it? Has he been able to really do something about the galamsey menace? And what? We're giving him an award. Okay. So the African people feel that he's the best president and that he should be followed. If African presidents are going to follow some of the things President Akufo-Addo has done, then Africa, sorry. Very sorry.
Okay, you say you want to have a word quickly because that's not one of our
issue
topics.
on corruption. It's more of public perception. To fight corruption out there, you have to deal with the public perception of corruption. As lawyer indicated, there are a lot of issues out there. Maybe we've not been able to handle it in terms of how the public will perceive it. I believe very well that President Akufo-Addo has done much in terms of fighting corruption. He listed them. With that alone, it's something to go by.
So you know that fighting corruption, you need to fight. It's a matter of public perception about
it.
When you were in opposition, you said that the NDC was so corrupt. And when you came to power, you were going to jail the NDC members who were corrupt. Did you know that it was a matter of public perception? Because I haven't seen a lot of convictions as I expected to see when you were in opposition.
I don't expect convictions. Does not happen just overnight where you have to go to... Currently, we have Honorable Alhaji Collins Oda in court facing Segleme issues, right? Okay. We have Dr. Arthur Forson in court on the ambulance issues. Okay. So all that, these are some of the situations we are talking about. You don't just go to court and expect ruling overnight. It takes time. So there is a public perception. We all do admit that corruption in this country. We sit on televisions and on radio, accuse each other.
Has it been hard to prove?
To prove
these corruption cases against the NDC, as you alleged when you were in opposition?
And they are in court. So I believe the courts will be the best place.
There are 2 cases only that you mentioned.
So they are in courts. 2 cases are in courts. So let's see the outcome of it. I believe if we are to deal with corruption-related matters, the public perception is very important. How we perceive it out there. We sit on televisions and point fingers. You are a thief. He's a thief. She's a thief. Then we create the perception up there that the person is already a thief.
How about your party? I mean, you talk about 2 cases being in court. How about your party? Because a lot of the people, when they talk about corruption under President Akufo-Addo, they first look inward before they even look outward. The NDC has come and it has gone. There have been so many corruption allegations against your party. How many of them have you been able to successfully prosecute?
Government will never be free from scandals. Government will never be free from scandals. There will be scandals. We do admit there have been scandals since 2017 when we took over. Some of these scandals with what's the name? That was the Galamsey one. The Interministerial Committee on Galamsey, the secretary. We had the special prosecutor chasing him with arrest warrants. These are all issues that are still being investigated. I don't think it has been cleared yet. So some of these matters, we call the president as a clearing agent and all. He appoints them.
You don't think he has been cleared? No, he was cleared.
No, currently there was an arrest.
But he was initially cleared. There was some investigation, right, Mr. Johnson? That was conducted by the police, the CID, and he was cleared. And for which reason can you let me finish?
I'm sorry?
For which reason he was initially refusing to honor the invitation of the special prosecutor. So there has been some clearance on that side. Not just that. Then there was the Australian visa scandal. Till date, we don't know who was behind that. Ghana was publicly embarrassed. Till today, you and I don't know the persons that were behind it. But the persons who were in that ministry have been reassigned. There's that. And there are several others that I can mention. So which of them have you been able to successfully prosecute without clearing them? Because I've given you 2 instances where persons who are involved in scandals have been cleared.
Okay. And that's Charles Bisu. I believe it was a statement from the CID that cleared him. Now he's with the special prosecutor. So let's see the outcome of it. If we sit here and just conclude that he's been cleared, as my senior brother and lawyer indicated that the president is a clearing agent, I think that's not being fair. That's not fair to call the president with that name. The point is that here you have your workers, you trust them, you know them. So if you work with them and there's an issue, as a leader of a group, you should at least come out and speak on behalf of their people. I believe some of these matters, we should not just conclude that the president is a clearing agent who clears his appointees up whenever they are being named in terms of corruption or they are being fingered in terms of corruption. Let's deal with the issues Let's deal with it. If it's a criminal matter, corruption is a criminal matter. Corruption has denied people access to water. Corruption has denied people access to healthcare. Corruption has denied people access to education. Let's deal with it at that level. Whoever is being fingered in any corruption, let the person face the law, whatever the outcome may be. Let it be. But if we come and sit here and we create the impression that the president is being a clearing agent, which I think is not fair.
He didn't say it. You're not hearing it for the first time, are you?
No. I'm here for the first time with them. And
are
so
you
if they're saying it from them on their set, please, on their set, I need to say it. On their set, they've said it here. So I'm just saying that it is very unfair to make those pronouncements. Okay. That's what I'm saying.
Do we call him a clearing agent, or that is what he's being called?
Okay,
you said it here, so I'm only saying because you have said it here.
Okay, let's move on. That is actually yes, Mr. Danswa. Yes.
Auditor General's report.
Yes.
The latest Auditor General's
report. Actually, there's that too.
Have you seen the point that he makes with regards to the national lottery and the corporate social responsibility money they have spent without a policy? About 58 million or something like that. It should have had a policy in place before they were able to spend that money. There was no policy. So we are not talking about corruption that is being handled per se per Akufo-Addo, but what is happening within his government.
All right.
You see, this Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde attitude that the president seems to have makes it difficult for any of us to support what he does.
Okay,
he says
let's move on
and does another.
Let's move on.
Let me add to the same
quickly because they've all had takes. I'm just going to
Auditor General's whatever. Last year, the Auditor General's report reported about over 12.8 billion corruption-related losses. $12.8 billion. Cedis. How much does it come to? That's $1 billion. All right. My brother is sitting here saying what?
Okay. Well, let's still talk about President Akufo-Addo since we are already on him. But the president is not happy, and he's not happy with the criticism of his government by some of the contenders in the flag bearership race of his party, the New Patriotic Party. Now, he met communicators of the party recently, and we'll try and get that video. And from that video that has gone viral, the president is not happy. I mean, if he wants to campaign, I understand him. But why are you bashing his government? You know, some are calling some people, what is the word? Help me. You know, their strategies. Strategies. Oh, why are you people doing that? It's not nice. The president is not happy, and the president is wondering why some of the persons who want to be president and represents the party will be criticizing his government. He asked how the contenders criticizing his government would manage to convince the people of Ghana to vote for the party in the 2024 polls if they continue to castigate his government. And to quote the president, he said, "I don't see what we gain by attacking the record of our own government. When you do that, then you become the party candidate. What are you going to tell the people? That, oh, it was Akufo-Addo who misled you and mismanaged affairs. I will be different. Even though I am NPP, I am still under the elephant sign, but I am different. The people of the Ghana will be that gullible? No, let us be serious," the president said. And, you know, I agree with the president on this. I mean, even though this is internal affairs, but I've been asking that at least there are 3 people who have been and one still part of the administration of the president who want to lead this party. There's Alan Tremantin, who was trades minister. There's Owusu Akoso, who was a Greek minister. And then there's the vice president. The vice president is still the vice president, so he is not even out. But these other 2 people have resigned to contest the flag bearership race of the NPP. Now, Alan Tremantin says we should vote for him. And I keep asking, he is part of the people that created the mess that we are in. He was a cabinet minister, no? Their Greek minister is also there, has been there. What if they had all these beautiful and brilliant ideas? I mean, I haven't been a minister before, but what do they discuss when they go to cabinet? Do they bring these things up? Is it that they bring it up and no one listens to them? How are you part of an organization and you are not able to transform it? But you have come out and you want us to vote for you because you have exceptionally beautiful ideas of your own that you want to implement separately. But I'm going to start with you again, Fad. What your people are doing is not nice. Who is your preferred candidate, by the way?
Well, I have been a supporter of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Okay.
Since 2009.
What is his message?
Well, I believe he has indicated to delegates that he is the vice president. And he has his own ideas and he has his own direction. He's the second in command. We do know that, but he has his own vision, his own direction. He wants to take this country to. So,
and he can't do that being vice president.
No. As in every organization or in any group, we have a leader who we vote for. I believe in 2016 when we were voting for the MPP, it was the candidate we presented with his visions that Ghanaians voted for. I believe very well that same way applies to the running mate, that's Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia then, today the vice president. Same with Honorable Kwejo Alan Chamanten, a trade minister, part of the government, now out of the government. They all have their individual directions and visions for the country. I believe it's fair we allow this campaign. But then what is important is that internal elections is very, very critical when you are going for any general elections. We have to elect leaders to take up the leadership role of our party before we can go to elections 2024. President Akufo-Addo indicating he's not happy with some of the attacks on his government is very, very important. Why is it so? Some of these names you've mentioned were part of the administration. So even if there is a mess which they have identified, somehow they were part of it. We are going to contest within ourselves, among ourselves. Beyond that, we'll go and contest with the NDC. So we need to be very careful how we manage our communications, because it is crucial. It is it is only significant that you have two people from the same party contesting and attacking themselves, exposing their own weaknesses out there. Then after which you go to the general public to tell them that I am the best among them, so vote for me. On what level? After destroyed yourselves to the people. I believe Akufo-Addo or President Akufo-Addo is not only trying to protect his administration alone, but also trying to protect the legacy of the New Patriotic Party. Because as we speak today, we still speak on the legacy of President John Ajay Kufuor, former president, because we believe it is party that gives birth to government. So if President Akufo-Addo or President John Ajay Kufuor had the benefit of the NPP in 2000, to Akufo-Addo 2016, whoever takes over from Akufo-Addo, if Ghanaians vote for us, we will also have to form another presidency or government after 2020. That's 2025. It will be only fair to go out there and campaign on issues that you can do, not to attack this administration and the party you want to stand on its ticket to contest. That is what Akufo-Addo meant by that. But then we go out there. As I indicated, I belong to the Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia team. I believe in him because from where he comes from, when he started in 2009, I was a student back then. And the kind of motivation we derived from Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, it has been something we have kept to it till this point. We believe that he can do well when given the opportunity to lead the country. We've seen what he has done as a vice president, though with his boss, probably might not have enough space as the leader. We believe very well that if Ghanaians gives, or the New Patriotic Party delegates given the opportunity to lead the party, Ghanaians will also vote for us.
So let me ask you this. Do you subscribe to those who say that the vice president, or we are in the state we are now, because the vice president wasn't allowed to work?
Well,
because he said that he was the economic messiah.
No, you cannot say he was not allowed to work.
So then, how did he shelve these beautiful policies for when he becomes president? Why couldn't he run them by the president? Or he did, and he wasn't listened to?
We are all aware some of the initiatives Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has led to within this administration. We've seen them out there. They've materialized out there. We've seen the impact of it. He has contributed his efforts to this administration.
Okay.
He believes he has his own vision for the country.
Which is what?
Which is he's presenting to the delegates. We know, we've heard him.
What is it? Very
well. His digitalization drive.
We have already seen.
We've not seen it to the fullest level yet.
So what is he keeping the rest for?
No, the point is that he's only a vice president. Listen, well, let's get it this way. A president campaigns, President Akufo-Addo, since 2008, campaigned to be president of this country. He had his own visions. He selected Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as his running mate. And he helped him to win the presidency in 2016. So President Akufo-Addo's visions will have to lead the drive. Today, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia wants to also lead the party and also come to seek the mandate of Ghanaians with his own visions, which I believe very well that one of the key important issues or one of the key drives of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's vision is the digitalization of our economy. We've heard people say that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia over the years have shifted from his economy, usual economy, and now trying to advance digitalization and how to digitalize our economy. It is only significant and important to state that an economy that is not digitalized cannot develop or cannot grow. There is no growth in an economy that is not digitalized. There is no growth in an economy that does not build on infrastructures like technology and advanced technical know-how. It is only important we tell Ghanaians that where we are heading towards today, we need somebody who believes in this particular drive. Let's put that person ahead of the country. Let's see how best he can help us move from where we are, because where we find ourselves today, we are developing. We need somebody, a leader, who will help us to develop well.
Which of the contenders is the president talking about?
The president gave a general statement. He didn't limit it to any individual. He was not particular about any individual.
So there's no one.
He's just giving an advice to the party that don't.
It's not
attack.
an advice. We heard.
You
heard what I read.
There was no name mentioned. He's told them that you cannot attack a government.
So it means someone is doing it. Who?
I believe some of them are doing.
Who?
So there's a saying in Akan that Akunyata Adeshe pray. And during that period, people, whenever there's a vacancy, you have people who come and contest. And during that period, they will have to compete and say things about themselves. It is acceptable, but it is only fair to advise them that be measured in the things you say about your own party, about your own government you all helped to bring to power. That's what President Akufo-Addo was meant by his message. The
truth is the truth, oh? Don't you agree?
The truth is that
you don't want to say Kennedy Japan is one of the persons who have said that when the NDC was in power, he compared the exchange rate, and called Dr. Bawumia because Dr. Bawumia says he's a strategist, and we are not seeing that. Kennedy Japan said it. I didn't see it. So he's speaking the truth. Why must he be made to feel bad for speaking the truth? Is that not the truth?
What is the truth about that?
What is the
truth about what Honorable Kennedy Japan said?
Oh.
That when NDC was in power, this was the rate. And today this is the rate.
4 CDs,
and today this is the rate. So we should blame Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, right?
Who should we blame?
So we should blame No, that's what Kennedy is saying. So today, anything good about President Akufo-Addo's administration, we should accredit it to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Why not?
Has he claimed credit for anything? I mean, I'm not campaigning for Kennedy.
No. I'm also saying that if we want to blame Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia for anything that happens wrong with this administration, then anything good that happens with this administration, let's credit it to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. If per Kennedy's analogy. But I'm not trying to, that's why I didn't want to mention names. I've heard some of the aspirants, I've heard their messages, the personal attacks. We've heard our former general secretary, we've listened to him on radio and television. Some of the messages out there, it's not good for internal elections. That's what we are trying to say. We're not trying to mention names and say this individual is attacking this individual. All we are saying is that it's an internal affair. Let's manage it in such a way that after the elections, we wouldn't have to find it very difficult to bring everybody together for election 2024.
All right.
That is what we are trying to say.
Okay. Kojo.
Sorry. So have you ever heard this from Sempa Free? So have you heard that before?
Sempa. I haven't heard that.
Yes. So it's not something that anybody, it's not even allowed in our local palace, that you are doing a good thing and then everyone says that, for all the good things you are doing for free, so it is the bad things. Excuse my language. Free, so
okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Do you understand? So if President Akufo-Addo's record was good enough, I'm not sure any of the 10 contenders would go out there and go and say anything negative to warrant. But did you hear that? Did you watch that video?
Yes.
This, did you see it? It looked like he was eating, no?
We don't have the video to show, but
it was as if he was chewing something and talking at the same time.
I
don't know, but please let your guys watch it again, and and he was displaying this anger again some level of it. And I was surprised that, look, you've been here for 7 years, almost 7 years. You have borrowed over 600 billion so far. You and you are sitting here after 7 years. Your own people have done a balance sheet of your 6.5 years of being in government. And they are saying, hey, please count me out. Take me out of this. This one, I'm not part of it too. And here you are crying. What's a panel? Why an MP? Who doesn't want all the good things you've done? I was expecting my brother by now to be enumerating some of the goodies. We were talking about digitalization. God, which part of it did Dr. Baubia add? Which one? Talk about the what do they call it? The fiber optic. What do they call it? They have a name for it. The layout, like, spreading it across the country for it to be used. Tell me how much of it this government in the last 6.5 years have added to what President Mahama did. Because nothing drives technology minus this fiber optic infrastructure. Talk about the e-courts. Did Dr. Baumia contribute anything to that? E-commerce, did he contribute anything to that? So where is this whole digitalization, whatever? What is the exact thing, one thing that he can say, I did, the interoperability thing he's talking about, that is the only whatever that he can probably take credit for. Even with that, before he came, he said NDC gave a contract which was going to cost us about $1 billion or something, and then he came to scale it down and they used a certain low amount for the inter. So it means somebody started it. It means someone started it. This port, paperless, whatever. What was the West Blue? Okay, they got a contract in 2016 around August. West Blue. They started this paperless thing. At the time, 2016, when we were having that contract, where was Dr. Baumia? Was he a president or a vice president? So for me, or for some of us, we've just been quiet and watched this man steal people's ideas and made it look like he came with economics. He has run from it. He has run away from economics. As we speak today, he has departed completely because he knows it is an area, and that is where Kennedy Japan punched in from. Here you are. You said you have arrested the city when it was 3.8 something. Today it is 11.6. Here you are running away from the locks where you locked the whole thing. Now the whole thing bolted and you can't even find yourself, let alone find where the dollar went to. Because of that, you have shifted from whatever, and now you are calling what digital, which is also an area that we are just waiting, NDC, for Dr. Baumia, for them to cajole everybody, for Dr. Baumia to win this primaries. And that's exactly what they are doing. Everybody, you can tell, the body language, everything. I was watching Dambuchi 3 or 4 days ago, and you can tell that this is not the Dambuchi we know. The bold, the resolute Dambuchi. He's been cajoled to accept Dr. Baumia by force. So wherever they go, once you are a minister under this government, you must accept to speak for Dr. Baumia. Otherwise, everybody knows the obvious. So everyone is being cajoled. And me, you see,
cajoled by who?
But
Because the president himself has said
it is,
that he is not
what he
supporting
says?
any...
It is not, it's a big lie.
He said
Quote
nobody...
me, I said it's a big lie. Quote me anywhere.
But he also said that he can beat his chest to say that nobody can say he has...
I can beat my chest to say that it's a big lie. Because the scheming...
Do you have proof of anyone?
Please, I said the schemings. You see, let me tell you something. Why did they not accept the 9 other contestants' idea of putting 900 or 800, almost 900 delegates in one place? It was to make sure the president's will is, adhered to across the country. Because here is the case. If you put 900 people in one place, all these 10 people will be able to campaign and access these people, speak to them. Oh, please, relax. Speak to them and at least convince as many of them as they can. But if you are going to spread everybody across the country, how are they going to do that within this short period? Okay. Number 2, certain regions which have like 6 constituencies, I think Western North and Ahafo and others. Do you know what is going to happen? They have just about 26 to 28 delegates. And the delegates, 1 up to 28. Everybody can count. So if I come number 1 and I voted, the what do you call it? The paper, whatever, the ballot paper. If I'm number 1 and I come and cast my vote, I put it in a box. Number 2, number 3, all the way to number 28 or 30. It is easy to know who voted for whom. After it is counted, you know that, number 2, it was Sewa who casted his vote the second time. There was a second person to cast his vote, so he was number 2. You check on that, you can tell who voted for, who Sewa voted for. And that is what Akufo-Addo wants to follow. That is exactly the reason. So that they can tell who voted for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and who did it and come after them. That is why he didn't want to, aggregate them at one place so that one, it will be difficult to know who did who and who didn't vote for who. That is exactly what it is. It's a scheme. So for those of you who don't know, we are politicians and we understand these things better. Okay, and that is how come. And I can tell you that, look, if this thing is allowed, because look, the electoral college as they have it now, it is planned or plotted to eliminate some key people, including Kennedy Ejapong. Okay, it is plotted to eliminate people like Kennedy Ejapong, because look, Dr. Kennedy Ejapong seems to be the only threat for Dr. Bawumia in this particular election. And they should even dare. Me, I just want it to happen. They should eliminate him at this point. And I know the tables that will shake between now and November. What? Mark my words.
Between who?
You said?
The tables that will shake between who?
If they eliminate Kennedy Ejapong between now and November 4th, mark my words, we'll be here. And we will see. Because this whole scheme is to get him out. Constituency Executive Chairman, regional chairman, national executives, what's the other one? There were senior people, Council of Elders, DCs, and most of these people don't like Kennedy. MPs, most of them don't like him. So this whole thing is being schemed to cut everybody off and put Dr. Bawumia at the helm of this whole thing.
Okay.
Mark my words, NDC as a political party, we are waiting because he's as hollow as his president. And we are going to match them. We put their records together. The president does not have records. Otherwise, my brother sitting here, by now, he should be able to note 3 key things in this last 6 years.
He has no records, but he beat you again in 2020.
It was stolen. That's what we believe.
But you couldn't prove it.
Prove it with who? With who?
You couldn't prove it in
with
court.
Who? In whose presence? You go and take a black history book from UK to come and judge a case in Ghana, and you think we should take it? Please, don't even go there for me this point, because the judges themselves know the kind of work they did. It was abysmal, and it doesn't, you see, it's okay. It's all early days. That's why we said we won't go to court anymore. This time we'll take our judges to the polling center in the next election.
You take your judges?
Yes.
You have your judges?
They are the, what do they call it?
The polling agents.
The polling agents and all that. They will be our judges. And we'll make sure the people there cannot be cheated. We'll make sure Jim Mensah and her team will not. So now, do you know the results of the last election?
It's on the EC's website.
Which one?
There
are six results. Which one is the result?
It's there.
I said there are six different results. One that was given on the 9th, one on the 10th, one on the 11th. Sorry. Please.
Mr. Johnson, please come in.
This government.
You see, Abobi Bekawa, Nepri Untimem. Abobi Bekawa, Nepri Untimem. If an animal or an insect is going to bite you, it's inside your clothing, and what word am I looking for? It is surprising that President Akufo-Addo's own people do not believe in what he's done in the last 7 years. So if they don't believe, what should we say? What should Ghanaians say? Because they don't believe President Akufo-Addo has been able to live to the promises that he gave the Ghanaian people. So they all want to shy away. At least most of them want to shy away. When you look at the Ghana web story, they've got pictures of some of them there. Kennedy Japan. My own good friend, the other Japan. Kwabena Japan. Apreku. My own good friend, the former Minister of Energy. They are all there. I've heard my own uncle, Akoto, talk about some of the things that didn't go right when he was minister. I've heard my own cousin, Chematin, say things that haven't gone right in this government. So what is President Akufo-Addo asking? His record? He campaigned on the record of President Akufo, didn't he? And he was able to bang his hands on his chest and go by that record. His people can't go by it. When you have, were they 97? The parliamentarians, how many were they?
Yes, about 97, following Dr. Bawumia.
Yes. 97. Come to you and tell you Ufurata should go. What do you say? What do you say? Your own people, oh, this one outside, your own people, that the finance minister should go. What do you say? You see, the challenge is that President Akufo-Addo hasn't been able to unite his party as president. That's the challenge. People feel, his own ministers and members feel he has isolated quite a lot of them. And it's just a certain cabal within the party that is controlling the party. So you shouldn't be surprised when they want to run away from, inverted commas begin and close, the so-called legacy of President Akufo-Addo. Unfortunately. And it's unfortunate. What? He wants them to what? To clap? He wants them to clap. Look, President Akufo-Addo says free education is one of his major triumphs. Is it working? Do Ghanaians feel it's working? Do you think free education is only enrollment, putting people in school? That is what free education is about. Should it be about that? You need to look at the value chain of education. What did the IMF say in their report with regards to free education? Yes, enrollment has gone up, but the content of it. Do you know that the Ghana Education Service did a report and said when you look at a certain part of the country, 95% of students who finish the BCE either cannot read or do not understand what they are being taught. What does that tell you about free education? Have we really looked at this flagship project that Akufo-Addo touts everywhere that has helped us? Look, I feel very sorry for the future, because when you look at the kind of students we are churning out and the fact that the basics that needs to put them in a better position for the future and to build this country, the basics aren't there. And he touts it. Unfortunately, it's his own people telling us so. They are standing for flag bearer. His own people telling us. My uncle Akoto, what does he say? He said agriculture is the key to this country. We all know it, don't we? But then you ask the question, if you feel agriculture is the key, what did you say when you were in cabinet? Was it that Akufo-Addo didn't take what you said? One district, one factory, which Chematin was spearheading. Where did it end up? Wasn't there a part in the Ministry of Trade and Industry and a part in Flagstaff House? Where? Were they the real drivers of some of these policies that Akufo-Addo brought up? No. There were others who were favored against the ministers and those who were supposed to push some of these policies. So what do you expect them to say? I'm not surprised that that is what they are saying. Let's see who wins. Dr. Baumia. What did Dr. Baumia say? We have the men. Mention the whole litany of people. This, we have this, we have this, we have this. Have they been able to change the country? And let me tell my brother, look, the reason why fingers are being pointed at Dr. Baumia is because he was head of the economic management team. President Akufo-Addo raised his hand and said, we have an economic guru. The economic management team, when was the last time they met? When was the last time they met? And so, if his own people are pointing a finger at his governance, then Ghanaians should take a clue from that and see how best he can get this country back on its feet. Because if that is so, those who have been part and parcel of this government within the MPP may not be qualified to win the flag bearership of this country, because you've been part and parcel of the so-called mismanagement of the Akufo-Addo regime. Let's see what would happen. Let's see what would happen.
All right, let's move on. The Chief Justice, Justice Gertrude Tokono, has advised the public not to pay bribes to court officials who request money ostensibly on behalf of judges for favorable decisions. She said that oftentimes such money was actually not requested by the judges or given to them, but merely served as a ploy by unscrupulous court staff to enrich themselves. The Chief Justice consequently urged the public to report to the Judicial Service any court staff who would request money under the guise of conveying it to a judge. She made the appeal at a separate Chief Justice Community Sensitization Program at Akwatia in the Denchembo District and Krabwa Kolta in the Ayensuano District, both in the Eastern region. I mean, people actually do that, right, Mr. Jantwa? You're a lawyer. People do that.
What you mean, in the courts?
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens.
But, I mean, beyond telling us to report them, what else can be done to see that it's actually stopped?
I would expect the Chief Justice to clear her house first. That's the first point of call. Clear your house, expose those clerks who are doing that kind of thing, and expose those judges who encourage the clerks to do that type of thing. And the people have a responsibility. The people have a responsibility. Why would you want, and you see, this corruption thing, sometimes the people don't want to do it. But the body language, the way things are handled when you get into the courts, the clerks, the way they do their things, and some of the comments they make, puts you in a position. Say, is this what they're asking me? And sometimes you go tomorrow, every day, up and down, time being delayed. The clerks are very close to the judges. So the Chief Justice herself should find a way of trying to find those judges who are corrupt. I had a similar issue sometime, was it 2018, 2019, where a case of my father was being held in the Kumasi courts by 3 judges. And you could see the line of questioning. Something untoward was going on. You could see it. It was quite clear. You know what my father did? He's a lawyer. You know, in law, demeanor can stop a case. He read it and then kind of faked collapse because he saw where it was going and he could see that something untoward had gone on. And so the judges postponed the case. Immediately came up to Accra, saw the Chief Justice, and told the Chief Justice this is what he thinks is going on, that he wants the case moved to Accra. At the time it was Tedora Wood. She did an investigation. I don't know what the result was, but she moved the case from Kumasi to Accra. So, you know, these things happen. And they have to clear the courts first and then expose those judges, expose those clerks, and let the people know. So the Chief Justice was at an event. She should have been able to tell us that we've done our own investigation, we've seen such things going on, mention names of the clerks, and tell the people, if you are caught doing this, you'd also face the rigors of the law. So that people are careful when they hit the courts. Look, the only governance structure we have that the people should be able to depend on are the courts. That is where you can go and express something that has been done against you, or go and express something that you feel isn't right. But if the courts too are corrupt, where does the ordinary man go? TV, radio station? Yeah, you shout from the top of their hills, they will hear, but they won't do anything about it. So it's very important that the judiciary cleans their house. Once they clean their house and they let us know the house has been cleaned and they've exposed those who are doing these types of things, then we turn on to the people and try and educate our people not to be paying money and bribes to clerks and judges. Yes, sometimes some of those monies go into the pockets of the clerks and the judges know nothing about it. And then when the case goes against the person who paid, he will say, we'll go and stand somewhere now, castigate the judiciary and castigate the courts, when the judge even doesn't know anything about it. And so it lies in her bosom to make sure that the right thing is done. And she should start from the judiciary, clean that house up, and then we move on from there.
Edward, sorry.
This morning. I thought you would have skipped.
Is there anything you want to talk about? Everything it's too early.
Yeah, because you see, you are bringing heat into this studio.
I like it.
Yeah, you see, for some of us, after Justice Theodora Wood, we expected a new paradigm from the judicial system, especially when, after the announced expose, the steps that the past Chief Justice Theodora Wood took to ensure they sanitized the system. Some were made to face trial and some were expelled and all of that. Some of the judges. We thought that by now that perception of bribe taking by judges and all of that would have subsided. But you see, technology is also making the world a bit exposed to everybody. So the slightest thing happening somewhere is made to assume a certain viral nature. So if even two people are doing it, within a short time, the perception will be fueled to make it look like, oh, it's rife all over. I believe there are very good judges around. I believe there are people who are playing the cards very well and very decently. But as I said, a friend saying, I bet Bakuna is the same coin was something like that. The bad nuts. Exactly. So, of course, the new Chief Justice has that onerous responsibility to ensure that the judicial system sees a little bit of a much better perception of the populace, regarding their kind of with the perception that people have of them. For us in the NDC, it's really terrible because of the way or the manner in which the petition was handled. And she was one of the judges on that panel. And so we are watching from day one. Our eyes are on every step that she takes. But on this occasion, she's addressing a very, I don't know, is it court clerks and all those people. Please, what is their crime? And how is their, whatever they take, where it ends is the matter. Because if I come and see a court clerk who tells me, oh, judge, no me timi akwa ko hunu na wa boye, I don't think I will want to end at the clerk's level. Then I dole out money and give to the clerks a clerk J. Nafakomano. Now onye. Definitely, the clerk will pave the way for me to meet the judge. And that is where such discussions will end. So she should not target the conveyor belt. She should target the one who takes the money eventually. So for me, I said, yeah, unim say because you know there's something going wrong. And instead of tackling the real thing, knowing that you are part of that particular group, if you target them, then it will look like you are targeting your own people. Now you are looking at those, the conduits through which the money. So I think it's really gone the wrong way. She should target the judges. They are the ones who receive according to the videos we watch, they receive the cows and the goats and the yam and all those things. They were the ones who received it. We didn't see any court clerk taking money on that clip. So she should hit the
but they probably were not the focus. But it could also be that some of them don't sanction it. You know that?
Yeah. That's what I said earlier.
Right.
That I don't think all the judges are playing this card.
Right.
But it is a few who are doing it, who are giving them a bad name.
Right.
I have said that.
Okay.
So I think she should target. That is where because if the clerk takes the money, it doesn't make the judge, it doesn't taint the image of the judges. It is when the judges when we saw the video, when we watched the announced tape, and I'm told there's a second part
coming.
Yes. Just that under this government, Anas cannot release it. So he's also praying that one day government will change so they can, police.
But could you, it taints the court too. Because if a clerk takes money and it is not the judge who has, instructed him to take the money, definitely the client will say, is it Judge no Jessica? Because the clerk has said it's the judge who is requesting for it. So it taints the court and taints the judge. So she should do something about it.
You see, if the judge, look, I mean, when you enter a courtroom, the judge has control, absolute control. Everybody that enters that courtroom needs to comport according to the judge's dictates. Every one of us. I've been to court a couple of times and I know how I feel, even no matter how powerful you think you are. The moment you enter a courtroom and you have a case before a judge, you become a chicken until you are made to step out of the room. So, for me, the buck stops with them. If they decide to weed the miscreants from their system, no clerk will survive it.
Okay.
Do you understand? No bad clerk will survive it. But it is only when the clerks will feel confident to approach what do we call them? A person who has a case in court. A client. Because they know that, this judge is bribable. That is the only reason why he will approach someone to say, and who judge in a man. But if the judge is resolute and everybody knows that this man, you a no-nonsense person, you can't even take any matter like this to him, please. So they should start from there. They should weed the miscreants from their own body. Then they can go out there and ensure that they stamp the authority onto the judicial system, all the way through to bailiffs and all those people. So please, Chief Justice, you are new, and as I said, we are watching you closely.
All right. Let me, Father, I'll give you the last word on this.
Thank you. I think there's an issue, as I indicated with our earlier topic, in terms of corruption. When it comes to corruption, there's a perception about it. Let me use your outfit here. Sarah, I believe a lot of people out there want to have business deals with you, want to engage you to probably run an advert for them. They come around, see some of your staffs, and they go like, I can talk to Sarah on your behalf. So just give me something, let me talk to Sarah. You might not even be aware of it. This person goes out there and tells somebody that, I even paid Sarah to run an advert for me, until I've not gotten anything from her yet. Do you get the point? Sometimes you might not know what people use their name.
Approachable.
Wait, please.
Is she approachable?
Is she approachable?
Yes.
There might be a procedure to get to her, to run that business deal with her.
That's why I asked you, is she approachable compared to a judge? Which of them are approachable?
I'm giving a scenario where in an environment.
But you are comparing
please. In an environment, anybody can use your name in any environment.
Yeah, but you can see me outside and walk up to me. I can't just see a judge and walk up to the judge.
So
I need to go through someone.
I'm only saying that people do it. If you go to offices, you have people around telling you, I can talk to the big man on your behalf. Let me talk to him. Give me something, let me talk to him. Probably the big man does not even know anything about it. It happens in everywhere. That's why the Chief Justice, that's what the Chief Justice is saying. That if you are out there and any staff from a court comes to you or asks you to make payments for such situations, come out and report them. You see, it is important we come and report. But the situation is this. Corruption and bribery. Somebody is giving and somebody is receiving, right? And both are guilty of the offense. So here's the case. I have paid you money to talk to a judge on my behalf. How do I come out and even report such a business transaction to the Chief Justice? That I paid this clerk to talk to the judge on my behalf. I believe it's an environment we've built where we are all living together. This person knows this person can talk to this person on your behalf. That is what has brought us this far. It is a situation we've built as an environment, as a society, as a community. Let's uproot it.
So what do you advise?
The advice is that you see, I believe that our judicial services has become so, as Honorable indicated, if you enter the court premises, there is this fear that covers you up. And with that fear, people find it very difficult to voice out some of these issues. I believe we should open up the judicial service.
It's in the court that you want to go and voice out.
I'm saying that we should open up the judicial service to the Ghanaian people, to the public, like the Chief Justice is engaging the people now. Let's open up the judicial service to the people. Let's have that free will to come and willingly to speak about some of these matters that happens within the judiciary services. Because I remember if you look at the issues she listed, you go to one court, there's a charge different from another court. You go to this court, you meet a registrar, you want a certain document. He tells you that this is how much you are charging for this document. You go to other areas. Transparency you don't get that from the judicial services. So we should open up the court system to the people. Let the people understand that we are here because of you. We are here for you. You come to litigate with us. You come with your cases to be settled with us, right? If you come to us, don't feel scared whenever there's anybody intimidating you to bribe somebody or to pay somebody. If ANAS had not exposed some of these issues, we only hear them. That, this judge takes this.
Okay.
But we couldn't see.
Your digitization didn't get there.
Please.
Because this e-court was even going to help for filing.
Okay.
Please. Please.
I didn't suspect that.
I'm surprised you even just jumped in with that. But I said
digitization didn't get there.
Please. So I think the Chief Justice is also taking a new dimension to the judicial service. I think it is fair.
Digitization.
Please.
Thank you very much. No, but we have to go.
We should open up to the public. Let the public understand.
Unfortunately, there's no time. There's no time.
The judicial service is for them.
Okay.
They should come up whenever there is when they feel intimidated by any worker around the court premises, walks to you that pay me, let me help you talk to somebody. Just report the person. She has indicated that her desk is always open. If you have petitions, every day she receives more than 4 petitions on such matters.
Okay.
Just feel free, put a petition, and she'll handle it for you.
All right. Thank you very much. Fad Osman is member of the NPP communications team and a supporter of Team Baumia.
You put me on spot. Yeah, I've said this.
Cajoled to
No. I said this since 2019. So you believe that?
Is former member of parliament for the Adentan constituency, and he's in charge of special duties for the NDC. And Mr. Kwame Jantwa is a member of is a chairman of the political affairs committee of the CPP and the CEO of the Africa Energy Consortium. Thank you for watching the segment. Stay with us. After the break, we have more.